welcome you guys joining on from Instagram, from YouTube, and here on Zoom. Hi Alex, hi Devora, hi Francis, Kim, Sonia, Kristen, great to meet you guys. And everybody on LinkedIn, hi. We are live across IG, YouTube, and here on Zoom. For everybody here on Zoom or on LinkedIn, do write in the chat what country you are from. Now, while you do that, we're going to be covering a really awesome roadmap today. We're going to be sharing with you live how you can get buyers to know you and buy from you as the number one in your niche. So what I really want to know from you before we get going is, what is the biggest challenge you want to solve in the next 60 minutes? Is it how to build sustainable scale? Is it 2, how to build brand awareness? Or is it 3, Sarah, just give me one simple roadmap that is going to get me to grow in the way I dream of? So is it 1, how to build sustainable scale? 2, how to build brand awareness? Or is it 3, knowledge, 1 roadmap? How do I actually build sustainable growth and get buyers to see me as the number one in my niche? So write your answers in the chat. What is the problem that you want to solve together now? 3, Kim is sharing. So 1 roadmap, you're in the right place, Kim. We're going to be sharing 5 steps, 5 secrets, and all of those steps I'm sharing with you today enable you to take away from today 1 simple roadmap to scale. So this is designed for mission-driven founders. I want to know your mission. What's the impact you guys want to make? Is it to impact 1,000 people, 100 people, 1,000,000 people? Write that in the chat as well. What is the impact that you want to make? Because here is what I'm going to be sharing throughout our session today. You guys right now, this year in 2026, have a greater opportunity to make the impact you've always dreamed of than ever before. So when you think about your impact, what is it that you want to make? So I'm going to be explaining why today is the greatest opportunity of all time to make the impact you dream of, okay? Now, I know for me as a founder, it was always like, gosh, I just wish someone would tell me, what are those secrets to get a buyer to buy from me consistently? And it was only when I applied my own buyer psychology system that I'm sharing with you guys live today that the breakthrough happened, that I went from, buyers sort of saying, yeah, Sarah, that's interesting, or, send me an email. I love what you do, but I'm not quite sure, to being able to buy from me consistently. Okay. So what you're getting today is the exact 5-step playbook to do that, to get buyers to buy from you consistently, to get buyers to understand you, why you are the only choice in your niche, so that you can walk away today and make that impact that you dream of. Now, I do invite you, as my team have shared, to put your cameras on and to really interact. I do this live so that you have the opportunity to get your questions answered with me live. And this is always intimate sessions. We do them in a small way so that, again, everything we do here at Impact Innovator is personalized. So Kristen, I love it. You're here to impact 1,000 high-performing women to get their energy levels up and shed unwanted weight without dieting. Brilliant. One of our members, Kristen, she makes amazing chocolate that enables you to actually lose weight while eating the chocolate. Would you believe that? Right? It's amazing. So Love it. Please share more with what you guys do. I love to hear it. Okay, so this system is going to enable you guys to make the impact that you dream of from a finance point of view, from a wealth point of view from yourselves, from an impact in people's lives and impacting your own life, right? Francis, you've shared, I'd love to make an impact in agriculture by advancing ethical, sustainable and bioclick vegan farming practices while creating a safe place for people and community through your little Logan's farm. I love it. And Kristen, Inner Glow Getter is my company. I take women on high level luxury healing journeys to Bali. Amazing. I want to hear more. Manuela, welcome. Sonia, welcome. Do share what you guys do. We're just getting started. Okay, so we're going to be covering a roadmap that's going to enable you guys to do that. Doesn't that sound good? To kind of get your impact, get out from stuck, from like bogged down in the day-to-day to having one solid system for growth. So let's dive in. Can everyone see what's on my screen, by the way? Yeah. Can you see? Yeah, here. Okay. So here's the deal. I'm not here to sell you anything on this masterclass, but there is a caveat. Some of you are going to want to take action after we finish, and I will open a booking link at the end. For those who are ready to make the impact they dream of without wasting time, we are giving away 5 one-to-one strategic calls with me that you can apply for at the end of this session. And in that call, we're going to unlock where your opportunity is to build category of 1 growth. Okay. Now, those appointments are only for the first 5 direct with me. The rest are with my team. So if you want one, book it quickly. So let's get clear. Unless you are the number 1 in your niche, the pressure of standing out to buyers has increased, right? Also, the pressure to build sustainable wealth has increased. Yeah. Things are not getting easier. They're getting harder. They are getting harder if you don't have clarity of how to get buyers to see you as the only choice. When you do that, things get easier. Why? Because unless you are established as the number 1 in your the number 1 in your niche, the time to make the impact you really want to make is decreasing, because everything is speeding up and there's more and more competition than ever before for reasons that I'm going to share in a moment, right? My question to you for throughout our session today is, what are you doing about it? Well, you're here. That's an amazing start. What else are you doing about it? On a day-to-day level, are you taking matters into your own hands, trying to figure out what buyers value about you? Now, that is smart, and I know you're smart, but it's also risky. Or are you implementing many growth systems and then like every day it's like, Sarah, I'm bamboozled. I can't see the wood for the trees. Why? Because there are many growth systems out there and they are promising big profits. We all get, different messages on LinkedIn every day. But the thing I came to found with many growth systems is that they promise big profits, but they bring bigger risks. Here are some of them. They mean that you have to really have loads of cash outlay on a recurring basis, give a lot of time to implement complex systems, a lot of overhead, complexity, and who knows if they're actually going to be clear and give you a clear, solid roadmap for growth that's going to pay off. Now, what if, in terms of your own growth, you were in control of it? That you understood everything that all the experts understood, right? That suddenly you had one roadmap that had all the secrets for growth behind it. So you didn't have to rely on any other agency or expert to help you grow your business. You could implement one simple system into your business that every team member who joined your company could understand. What game-changing results and impact would that enable you to have? Now, what if you could have that one simple system in a way that was simple to implement? You could start implementing it in 30 days in a way that, you had an expert on board to help you with that, and that enabled you to be seen as number one in your choice. So you stop being overlooked by buyers, or buyers saying, send me an email, this, that, and the other, and you got bought. What if you had that roadmap and you could stop second guessing, right? And living in confusion about actually what was needed to make people see you as the number one in your niche? What if you had one simple system that enabled you to own your category for the next 5 years ahead? What if you could receive all those benefits without risks? You could become a category of one leader with one simple system you own forever that could enable you to build anywhere from 200K to 2 million in extra revenue. What impact would that allow you guys to make in months, not years? And I know you've been talking about this in the chat, right? The real question is this possible for you to have one simple system that requires little risk, that has somebody really nurturing you every step of the way, helping you figure out what buyers actually dream about when they see your business, so you can build sustainable growth and impact quickly? Well, here are some of the amazing founders who are brilliant mission-driven individuals, just like you guys, who are using that one system right now, and some of their awesome results. We've got Vanessa, who is right now using this system to win awards as Impact Entrepreneur of the Year. We've had Alexandra, who's achieved amazing funding in 30 days. We've got Carol doing consistent 200K sellout launches again and again and again. And we've got Marie and her partner Jason, who had a 30% sales increase in 90 days. These are just some of the examples, and I'm going to be sharing the stories as we go through, because I do what I do for one reason only, because of you guys, because I really care that your mission reaches the impact you dream it to make. I'm going to give you more information and insights today on what buyers actually want from you for free than most people ever give you, right? And as I said, that is because I'm a founder myself. I care about mission. I'm a mission-driven founder since the year 2006. I've seen founders waste years of time because they don't understand this one simple roadmap I'm sharing with you today. And as I shared at the beginning, you guys have a greater opportunity to make the impact you've always dreamed of today than ever before. So I know you don't have time to waste. So let's start with some founder truths, and put a thumbs up whenever you connect with any of the ones I'm sharing with you today. I'm brilliant at what I do, but I feel invisible to buyers. I'm frustrated. Founders with offers worse than mine are making 10x more money than me that are nowhere near as authentic or mission-driven as I am. I've hired agencies, coaches, experts, spent thousands and thousands, and I'm still not scaling in the way that I know I could be. I feel depleted. I quit my job to make a difference. Now I'm working harder than ever and earning less. Now, as Warren Buffett famously shared, it doesn't matter how hard you row, just the boat you're in. And today I'm about to share with you that there's a different boat, right? Than the boat that founders are told, this is the way. It took me over a decade to realize that all those different things we're bombarded with, saying this is the solution, that's the solution. I realized that actually all we need as mission-driven founders is one different boat that enables us to simplify our entire business so that way buyers understand it, that you're the only choice for them. And that roadmap is this method. So get your pens at the ready, have your tea with you, get your notes out, We're going to dive in because at the end of this masterclass, you're going to have discovered the buyer psychology system that is quietly enabling mission-driven founders to become category of one leaders in months, not years, and impact thousands and thousands of people. Why today is the greatest opportunity of your all time to make the impact you dream of, and the one simple system you can implement in-house to your business that will enable you to start growing and being seen as category of one in less than 30 days. And every single day after that, enable you to compound your growth in a simple, scalable way. You're also going to know the exact 5 steps that anyone can take to go from overlooked to number one in their niche, and those amazing real stories of founders just like you who have used this method to achieve the impact they dream of. Okay, so first, who are you talking to today and spending time with? So my name is Sarah Simmons, and I was the buyer who was depressed. I worked in the corporate sector, controlling hundreds of millions of dollars of buying budgets for some of the world's top stores. I was responsible for sourcing the world's top brands and introducing new brands and new founders to those world top stores. And I realized a number of things while I was doing that. Firstly, that you know what? We spend $50 trillion on stuff a year, and that stuff needs to pivot to be good stuff for people on our planet. And I realize most of what we spend our money on, products, services, is waste because buyers only choose less than 1% of what they see. I realize that a founder is a brand. A founder is a high impact offer, right? And I realized that what was missing for mission-driven founders was to be able to see their business as a buyer sees it. So one day I went to my dad and I said, you know what, Dad, I'm wasting my life. I'm giving all my energy to corporate stores, whereas I know that there are all these amazing purpose-led founders, businesses and brands not getting a look in, not getting bought by buyers because they just don't understand buyer psychology. So my dad shared, you know what, you have to go out there and help them. And I knew it and I was scared to do it, but I did it anyway. And this is my story. Okay. It was that call that changed everything for me with my dad, having the strength to go out there and really figure out how all of us as mission-driven founders can scale. And ever since 2006, I've made that my mission. I became an impact innovator, innovating the world's first feel-good jeans brands. But then, because I used the systems we're told as founders to grow our businesses, I got stuck. I spent $150K on all those experts and fragmented systems, and buyers didn't understand why I was the only choice. The breakthrough for me came when I understood, hang on a minute, Sarah, you were a buyer. You just need to apply buyer psychology to your business as a purpose-led founder. When I did that, I went from invisible to stocked in the world's best stores, #1 sellout brand, and winning Impact Entrepreneur of the Year. Then I gave that system to other founders. The first one who used it went from 2 million to 4 million in 12 months. The 50 plus who've used it since have been across every industry: conscious coaches, consultants, SaaS-based businesses, security businesses, mission-driven product founders, you name it, right? We've worked across many, many different sectors and applied the principles I'm sharing with you today. Because what that I realized as a buyer is that, and a founder, that buyers just need to understand your business holistically, which is what the system I'm sharing with you today enables you to give them. And I'm going to say shortly why that's so key, right? Buyers need to understand you holistically and instantly. And welcome to everybody new joining us. If you guys, Karen, Francis, Sonia, if you want to put your cameras on, do feel free. Okay. Let's dive in to secret 1, and every secret is a step. So pay really close attention, because when you actually get each of these points, you're going to be able to start implementing these straight away into your business And when you apply these, founders who use this system, they go from invisible to number one in their niche in 30 days, right? So first step, category of one foundation, becoming the only option. Okay, why is that so key? Because today, if you are replaceable or one of many, your business is at risk. Because there are more startups than ever before, and AI, is brilliant. And, we know everything is changing radically. So when there's already been millions of new startups, there's going to be millions and millions and millions of more new startups. As our world shifts, AI means that people lose jobs, change jobs, everything, right? And we're in a world today of uncertainty, and that I don't think that's ever going to change for the next 50 years. So what happens in an uncertain world? Buyers don't stop spending. Right? If you ever hear this, oh, it's so difficult to sell, it's so uncertain. No, buyers don't stop spending, they stop gambling, right? They just want to know which business to choose that is the category of one. Think about it yourself. When you look on Instagram, when you look on LinkedIn, when you go searching on AI or Google, what are you looking for? You're not looking for one of many. You just want to know what the one is. Right? And that one in every niche and every micro niche is making money consistently. Category of one companies transcend commodity and defy comparison. And being a category of one, what's really important for everybody to understand, that isn't your positioning. You might have heard it in that way before. When I talk about category of one, I talk about everything that you do needs to align to a buyer as a category of one. Why? Because today buyers need instant clarity of why to choose you over anyone else. For the reasons that I've already said, right? They're on Google, they're on AI, they're on LinkedIn, scrolling. Just think of yourself. Like, how many seconds of attention do you give anything? Someone needs to look at you and instantly understand why they should choose you. So everything in your business needs to be aligned, right? How you stand out as a thought leader, your positioning, your offering, what you say about yourselves as a category of one. And all of that starts with you building a category of one foundation. So why is this so key for your mission? Because, the other thing compounding, as well as millions of new entrepreneurs, is that we're in this amazing opportunity for mission-driven business that's once in a lifetime right now. $84 trillion is being transferred. Can you imagine? $84 trillion right now. What does that even mean in terms of money? Huge. It's being transferred to millennials and Gen Z. Right? 73% of those guys value purpose before price. So what that means for you as a purpose-led founder is that now is the moment for you to stand out as a leader in your niche. Not in 18 months' time, 2 years' time, it's now. If you really care about the impact you dream of, because people are choosing their leaders now in this space. So here's the thing, you're replaceable when you hear this. Send me an email. Like I said at the beginning of our call today, I found something cheaper. I'll think about it. Can I have a discount? All that really means is someone doesn't know why you're the number one. When someone knows why you're the number one, which when we work with founders, their clients know that immediately, people just say yes. Yeah? No matter the uncertainty of the time, no matter your price point. And here's the thing, I always encourage founders to increase their price points. When people understand you clearly, you can do that, no matter what's going on in the world. Now, here's the flip. You are irreplaceable when you hear this consistently. You're exactly what I've been looking for. I can't wait to get started. My friends told you about you. I felt you were made just for me. That is when you are replaceable. And to Karen and Sierra, who's joined recently, welcome. I encourage you to put your cameras on. We're just on our step 1 of our roadmap to get buyers to buy from you consistently. And it's called building a category of one foundation. And what I'm sharing is that everything you do decides whether or not, you are a category of one, whether you are replaceable or irreplaceable. Okay, so how do you become irreplaceable? You apply this category of one foundation. Now, this is my biopsychology framework. You really unlock what makes you irreplaceable. Irreplaceable, not just better. And you're able to say that instantly to buyers. You share with people why you are the obvious choice, not just a good option. You share with people what transformation you deliver, right? That is different to anybody else. And you share what your authentic story is. This is the secret formula from buyer psychology. Myself being one buyer who has chosen hundreds of millions of dollars worth of brands, this is the formula I always applied, right? So make sure you write this down and let it sink in. You know, buyers will buy from you consistently when you have this formula in place. I would travel the streets of Berlin, LA to seek out brands, founders that really made it clear what made them irreplaceable, the obvious choice, what transformation they delivered that nobody else did, and their authentic story. And here's the thing about authentic story. This isn't something that you can get AI to do. This has to come from your heart. So let's see how that applies to one of our members, Marie and Jason. They have a really brilliant organic food business. They were already doing really well when I met them, as all our founders are, because I know you are great, right? But I know that despite everything, you can still be invisible, overlooked, or wasting time because, you know, buyers don't quite understand you or get you. Now, Marie and Jason, their problem was like they couldn't get out of their business. They couldn't get their team to scale without them. They had to be the relationship for their customers because the team couldn't say what made them a category of one. When they met me, Marie is fierce, right? And she'd been a buyer herself. So she was like, what are you talking about, buyer psychology? I was like, let me break this down to you, Marie, right? Literally, you establishing yourself as a category of one. I was with one of our founders yesterday. She makes amazing monk fruit chocolate and she's been with me less than 30 days. We've already built her category of one foundation. Honest, real chocolate. Now, before she might have been saying something similar to Marie. Marie said, I make organic food. That isn't a category of one. That isn't unique, right? Whatever your category is doesn't make you stand out to buyers. It's only when you get to the heart of what you do that's unique that does. So Marie shares, I tried so many coaches before. Before Sarah, some of the world's best, but none of them had been able to unlock my unique power as a category of one. Now, what we focus on with every founder we work with is what makes you irreplaceable. So we took Marie, you know, organic food to real food and things the French way. We focused on what's the clear transformation she gives to clients, right? Real food, nutritious food from her heart. Marie really, really cared that, you know, people could come to her and buy some food from her that was nutritious so they could go and not have to think about making food in the evening. They could go and just spend time with their loved ones and families. That's the transformation. That's your mission. And I know you each have that too. What is key from a buyer point of view is making it so obvious that your buyers understand it, because that's when not only your buyers understand it, your team can understand it. So when we did that for Marie and Jason, they were able to, their team scale without them. They could stop being in the kitchen and start working on their business. They were able to travel because their team were able to manage their business without them. Okay, the difference really here is looking at your business through buyer psychology, not through branding or marketing or AI, and through aligning what makes you irreplaceable from your heart center. So with Marie and Jason, the key insight is they didn't become, and none of our founders do, better, because I know you're already great. They became incomparable. That's the difference. That's the change, that then buyers see you and they just say yes. Now, Marie and Jason did this in 30 days while running their business entirely and without losing a single customer. This is just the first step to sustainable scale for your business, what we were talking about at the beginning was, what's the thing you want to solve here? And you guys said, brand awareness, sustainable scale, and one roadmap to scale. So this is the first step of that roadmap to build sustainable scale. Give yourself permission to stop competing and build your category of one foundation. Okay, so you getting this, guys? Yeah? Thumbs up? Good. Any questions, do write them in the chat as we go. If you're like, what are you talking about, Sarah? I don't get it. Or if you have a particular question about your business, please write it here. I love to answer your questions live, and we'll also be having 5 minutes at the end for questions. So write them down, things that come up, put them here. So secret 2 is also step 2. Okay, so every step we're talking about is, the secrets and steps and the roadmap to sustainable scale. So secret 2 is high impact offer. How do you transform the products and services you make to be able to start attracting 6, 7, and 8 figure new deals? Here's the problem today, right? Here is what I discovered running $100 million buying departments that I mentioned earlier. The sad truth is that buyers choose less than 1% of what they're shown, right? So think the different things you're selling. Not only are buyers choosing less than 1% of founders, brands, products, services, they also don't need that much from you. They need to just know the thing, the product, the service that is your high impact offer. The rest is overlooked, right? So your job is to make sure that you streamline your business to one high impact offer. And I'm going to share with you the framework to do that, because buyers will choose one high impact offer over 10 average ones every time. So this is whether you're a coach, whether you're a consultant, whether you make products, whether you make services. It's like unlocking, analyzing, simplifying, and streamlining through a high impact offer framework what buyers really value about you, and making that really simple and systemized so that buyers can buy from you and consistently, and your team can sell you consistently. Now, here's what most founders do. They overfunction and they think, I'm just being ignored, so I'm just going to pivot or change or add something. Sounding familiar? Or, they get a rejection from a buyer, or they get ignored and you think something's wrong with you. It isn't the case. The thing about your high impact offer is it's really important that every single part of your offer is clear, including the clients that you actually put your offer to. So if you're consistently changing, pivoting, doubting, you're overfunctioning. If growth is inconsistent, the 2 questions to ask yourself is this: is your business too complicated? Is your business too generic? Spend a moment to think about that and write it in the chat. Just put the word generic or complicated or G or C. Okay? If your growth is inconsistent, the 2 questions to ask yourself: is your business too complicated or is it too generic? Write it in the chat. C or G? Yes, Alex, too complicated. I hear you. Okay, C or G? Because here's the truth. Too many offers. Yes. The truth is, Kristen, that, buyers just want your one high impact offer. Because you know what I said earlier today, and this is really true. Your business has less than 3 seconds to stand out. 3 seconds. Let that all sink in. And your offer is the same. People don't have the bandwidth to be thinking about why should I buy this founder's product or service? And if you can't say, what makes your offer special, unique, beneficial, what transformation it will deliver, one offer, they're just going to say, send me an email or I'll think about it. But the opposite is true. When you can wrap up your offer and simplify it down to something really powerful and simple, like I'm going to give you a case study how I did that when I first became an impact entrepreneur myself, and I was making sustainable jeans that were organic and they were fair trade and they were hand woven and they were handmade and they were like carbon zero offset, like you name it. So that was the example of complex product and brand. Now, the same applies if you're a coach and you're like offering all these different low ticket offers, high ticket offers, this, that, the other. The same applies if you're a SaaS. It's like just too much information. Now, when I stripped it all back and said, hey, well, all of that is summarized into a category of one position, feel good jeans, and also a high impact offer, feel good jeans, a simple offer, timeless offer, that jeans that would always make you feel good. It wasn't 100 items. It was a small collection, very clear. Then buyers started to notice and buy. And the result was we went from overlooked to stocked in the best stores, became Impact Entrepreneur of the Year, built a celebrity cult following, and got 1 million organic reach, right? When we simplified everything back to a high impact offer. And the first time I used this was with products and with fashion. And since today, we're using it along with 50 founders, some of them in neuroscience, some of them conscious coaches, some of them making amazing mission-driven products, right? The same system applies to everybody. So secret 3, okay, once you've now got your category of one clear, you've simplified your offer to a high impact offer, is social selling. What do I mean by this? And it's not just making another piece of content. Social selling is all about being human in this world and really being able to follow a framework to give your audience the exact belief shifting marketing that is going to enable people to buy into your tribe, right? So I'm going to share a question from Sierra. How do you go from complex but valuable offering to knowing it would be resonant to call the jeans feel good jeans? It almost feels seductive or dishonoring to the integrity of the product, but I can see why they would be most impactful for your buyers. Great question, Sierra. The idea what we do with founders in the first 30 days, and it starts on the call we offer at the end, is to help everybody simplify the complexity of their innovation. That's what we specialize in here at Impact Innovator. And it was the first time that I launched this jeans brand that I saw the importance for mission-driven founders to be able to simplify their innovation, not to reduce or dishonor the integrity, but to make the innovation simple that a buyer could remember it. So if you imagine feel good jeans is just the hook behind that very complex innovation. And then what we teach founders is, you create that hook, that simple statement. So a buyer can say, I met this amazing founder called Sierra. She makes feel good something. And then the buyer's like, yeah, okay. I get it. Because the thing to know why this is so important for innovators like all of us, you guys particularly, is when you're selling something, you're not just selling it to the person in front of you. They have to go and sell it to somebody else, their loved one, their partners, their bosses. So that's why we have to figure out how to simplify innovation so that other people can sell it and understand it. And when you then, in each part of our process here at Impact Innovator, we teach you how to first simplify what you do, but then make sure that you're telling your authentic story. So that other parts, so that you're not dishonoring your integrity, actually come into this step, social selling. Is it making sense? Yeah? Cool. Okay, so social selling is our third step, right? So what do we mean? So following on from Sierra's great point is we need to be social today. We need to really communicate our innovation to buyers. So again, they choose you because they're overwhelmed with choice. So social selling is all about becoming really, really good at socially communicating, selling your offering and your story in a way that's simple to understand. Because here's what I learned. Today, basically, people, the businesses scaling and the businesses buyers want to be part of are the ones that create a movement and a community. And this is only going to accelerate in the next 12 to 18 months. Social selling is only getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Community is only getting bigger and bigger and bigger in the face of AI. You know, I said earlier, the human touch is what people want, and you need to become expert in sharing that human touch. So people, again, don't want confusion. They need simplicity. They need simple stories, simple social selling, simple community. It doesn't mean your offering is simple. It means just the way that you communicate it is. So as an entrepreneur, I realized the problem, right? It's why I built the Impact Innovator Mastermind and the growth system I'm sharing with you today. Like, what we're told to do as founders is kind of go and outsource different parts of our business or try and learn it ourselves and get overwhelmed. Like content, social media, partnering, selling, event planning, offer development, coaching, you name it, lead generation. All of that and all those experts and systems are brilliant. But what I realized is if you first don't follow one roadmap to centralize all the different parts of your business together, then you just create a fragmented mess. Not just that, but a vanilla mess. Because basically, if you haven't got clear on the roadmap and the points that I'm sharing with you today, and you go and hire a different expert, they're just going to make you sound vanilla. And then you become overlooked and you don't build your own movement, right? And so I found that the solution to that is basically to be able to follow a framework that I call social selling, to be able to distill down your offering and your story that's very simple to understand and do it in a framework and formulaic way so that you can build thought leadership, you can build a movement, you can build strategic partnerships, you can build an inbound and outbound sales system that means that people understand you, follow you, join you, want to buy from you, and become part of your world. And you don't have to rely on somebody else to try and do that or on just paid media, right? So social selling is so key. You know, I met a coach the other day who he has a 7-figure business and he said, Sarah, I've just been relying on ads and my business is really, really struggling because Facebook changed their algorithm in March. And I went, oh, well, our members are doing really, really well because, you know, we teach them how to build a foundation on social selling, which is all about being able to build organic growth, right? And build a community as just this is the 3rd step of our 5, right? Every step builds sustainable scale. This is the linchpin and means that you can be able to grow your business no matter the uncertainty in the world. It's another key part why you want to follow a social selling formula. So I did this in my second business, Bespoke Your World, right? Because my first business, I spent the 150K on the experts, you know, and then I had to do it all with stop that and do it with my own buyer psychology system. That's when I got the results. So my second business, I was like, hang on a minute, I'm just going to follow my buyer psychology system and then social selling formula from the get-go. So what we did was we built this category of one positioning on Instagram. We built a really brilliant high impact offer. And then we were able to communicate social selling, simple storytelling, very visual. And we were able to go from 0 to 300K in launch. We were able to attract and sell to the top 0.1% clients organically by building relationships with them on Instagram and on LinkedIn, which we do with you guys as well. We were able to follow our own system to build multiple 6-figure months without any money spent on ads, right? And the total investment was less than 50K. The key difference to working with agencies is that every dollar we spent was building our own system we owned forever, right? That's the power of building your own system in every step that I'm sharing with you today, not just the social selling one, but every step. So what happened to me, why I built Impact Innovator, the mastermind that I help founders with today, that's based on this method, is that other founders started asking me, how did you go and attract top 0.1% clients via Instagram without, spending any money on ads? And I said, well, we just applied our social selling framework. So then we started to teach it to them. And that's how Impact Innovator was born. So let's look at the case study of each case study I'm sharing with you today is just that one part, right? That the founder applied, but all founders go through this whole journey with us, and every part of the process, every case study part, right, compounds growth. So now we'll talk about Carol when she applied social selling. So she'd already applied the category of one and the high impact offer. So we'd made Carol really clear that she's the number one responsible yak brand in the world. Her high impact offer, we helped to simplify it. And then from a social selling point of view, Carol hated content, hated like the idea of sort of how do you build community. She felt lost in the crowd, overlooked, and she just outsourced all of that or tried to do it herself and not been able to do it consistently. When she applied this method, she went from overlooked to number one in her niche, and she went from to stop having to chase people to be able to attract the world's top influencers and partners to want to work with her brand. And she's been able to use our social selling framework and launch method to have consistent 200K plus sellout launches. I'm seeing Carol tomorrow, and it's really exciting to see her scaling. In her one-to-one, she's telling me now that she's able to attract funders to take her business to 8 figures that she's never been able to do before because she's followed this roadmap. So that's just the third step, okay? Now, let's look at secret 4, step 4. Master your mindset. Align your inner self for limitless scale. Why does this matter? You're in business. What does it matter? Because what I learned is that 95% of success is actually your mindset, right? Because 95% of success is your subconscious mind, and it's the secret that underpins sustainable growth. And when we work with founders, we work on the methodology, but we also underpin everything with mindset, really mindset processes to unlock things that have held you back, things that you may be aware of or not. Why? Because, I'm a founder like you guys. And what I realized is that burnout is emotional, right? When you're trying to sell something and you're ignored, it hits really, really hard because, it's rejection. And what's rejection about? Am I worthy enough to receive? And what I realized is there's actually a process behind mindset. It was after this moment I realized that, right? Trying to climb mountains again and again and again. That was my dream in business and in life. Yeah, I would try to summit mountains, but have the wrong mindset in place, trying to take the cheap road or figure it all out myself or not allow myself to get the support that I know that I really needed. And one day I made a decision to take a different road. And it was the first time I ever invested in top 1% experts. This is Mike. He's from the SAS. Now, Mike taught me the secrets of how you actually summit a mountain. And it was this powerful relationship that actually made me really become a mentor, because I realized, founders, when you know just the little secrets behind everything, right? Like Mike taught me this thing called the Swiss shuffle, which is just like to climb a mountain. It's not taking big steps. It's taking small little steps, just little steps so you don't waste your energy. Who would even know that? Just that little secret enabled me to achieve my dream to get to base camp Everest, right? And since another 8 mountains since then. So it made me realize that sometimes we need to get out of our own box and choose a new pathway. And you're here today, you're already taken that step. Now I invite you, what do you really want for your next step of your business, right? Because you can take everything that I've shared with you today and implement it. The only thing I can't guarantee is how long it's going to take you. So you can have two options. You can go ahead, implement this, or you can say, you know what, Sarah, I want a new roadmap where I unlock my real power is me, which is you. Okay, because here's secret 5. Impact Innovator OS is where all of these steps are put together in one simple system for founders. Now, that means that instead of having to invest piece by piece in your growth, it's one done for you system. You know, I learned that the hard way, spending 150K on all those different experts. At the end of it, I was nowhere forward. And that's where I said to myself, I don't want other mission-driven founders to have to struggle in this way or invest all this money for their growth. So I realized that, as we talked about a little earlier, Sierra, innovation is complicated and buyers need simplicity to buy. And that changed everything to me, and it explained to me why all those complex systems, if you don't have one roadmap in place first to simplify your entire business, that's why you struggle to get the breakthrough for scale. So fragmented doesn't work, integrated does work, and that's what Impact Innovator System delivers for founders, right? Because I realized if your positioning isn't talking to your marketing, isn't talking to your sales, isn't talking to your pricing, buyers are confused.com, my mum's favorite expression. So the solution, I realized, is integrating everything into one simple system. And each system is the steps that I've shared with you today. Category of one foundation, high impact offer, social selling, and then everything housed in one framework, right? So now as we go through, this is basically our mastermind. It's those frameworks in one. So here is how it applies. So Marie and Jason, right, and every founder we work with, like the lady I mentioned yesterday, Honest Real Chocolate, we enable a founder to get that category of one in 30 days, the first 30 days. So they go from overlooked to number one in their niche. Now that unlock is a game changer because it means that you can suddenly align your category of one on everything you do, on websites, social media, everything, on your teams, like every part of your communication. And then already you start selling more naturally, attracting more ideas. Another of our founders the other day, she said to me, she's also just been in the program 30 days. We only ever invite 2 people to join the program in one 30-day period because we like to give everybody real one-to-one attention. And she said to me, yeah, oh my God, I can't believe it. I've attracted this amazing partner, that amazing partner. Why? Because she's able to communicate her category of one. So the next thing we do in 60 days is we help each founder simplify their business to this high impact offer. This is Rachel, who had a really complex services business. You can see how it was simplified here in the middle on a website. This simplicity enabled Rachel to go to speak on stages and her team to go and book calls and new partnerships without her. She got 50 calls booked, I think, in the first 60 days, her team doing that without her. And she was able to achieve her dream for fundraising for her business really, really quickly. Then that was services. This is how it applies to products. Carol, I've mentioned to you, makes products. We were able to simplify them to a really high impact offer. She was able to attract top partners and then have consistent 200K sellout launches. We've got Simone, who is an amazing author. He's a coach, conscious coach. He was able to streamline his complex offering to a very simple, high impact offer and attract top clients really quickly. No more confusing packages. Next thing we do with founders is social selling. We look at every business individually. This isn't a cookie cutter. We work with every founder, custom made. What is the right social selling engine for you? And we help everybody implement their own social selling engine. So for Alexandra, she was able to show up online and to all her partners as leading the future of impact sunscreen, which enabled her to attract top partners and top funders to her business. All of that is delivered in one simple in-house system for founders to scale. So as I mentioned, we only invite 2 members to join in a month, right? And we only ever invite someone to join this program once. Now, you have 2 choices. You can take this information and implement it. As I shared, if you don't care about time, do that, right? Now, if you say to me, Sarah, actually, I really want to go and make the impact I've always dreamed of now, then here is your invitation. Your invitation is to apply for a category of 1 growth assessment. You can click this QR code, and there are, as I said, just a couple of spots with me for a call. And what I do with each founder that gets through the process is we go on a call together. It's totally free. And in that call, we start to unlock where you can build your category of 1 growth. Okay. And we do that in a really simple step-by-step way. So you walk away from the call and you have a roadmap already in place, the beginning of what makes you a category of 1 business. So there's your invitation. Okay. And now we have a couple of minutes left for questions. So I do invite you guys to put your questions in the chat here. Alex, we might have some questions that have come in from LinkedIn. If you'd like to share any with me, that would be great.
Yeah, we had Jonathan asking what's the best way to raise the price for their products. Just a simple question.
It's a great question. The best way to raise the price of your products is to follow a process that we do in the high impact offer framework section of this program to get laser focused on who your ideal client is and stop trying to sell to everybody, because not everybody is right for you. And you're not right for everybody. When you laser in on your ideal client, you can actually raise your prices significantly. And to understand who they are, they're already there within you. They're the people who never complain about what your price is. So it's a really subtle but important point that sounds simple, right? But it's most important thing to do in your business is to stop trying to sell to everybody and really follow a process to just sell to your ideal partner, your ideal client, and then you can raise your prices. Next question. Anybody here on Zoom? Karen, Kim, Sierra, any questions? Write them in the chat with pleasure. Or say them. Just turn your microphone on and share anything you'd like to say. Or don't. It's okay as well. Any more questions, Alex, coming through?
Yeah, I can do one other one from Rebecca. She was asking about what's the first thing they could do to kind of start positioning themselves as a category of 1, like that first step, because they're a little bit confused on, like, it's overwhelming.
Well, the most important thing to do is, I would say, book your category of 1 growth assessment, because I'm not going to lie, it is overwhelming, right? And that's why this program exists. Like, the biggest unlock you can do is to... Did I climb Basecamp Everest for marketing reasons? No, I did not. I did it for charity, actually. Because, my dad has Alzheimer's, so I raised money for charity doing that. It definitely wouldn't be something to do for marketing reasons. It was really horrible and difficult. That's why I also don't look glam in the pictures at all. In terms of the first thing to do to build a category of 1 business, I think it is to get help and support, right? That is my honest truth. It isn't... whether that's from Impact Innovator or whether that's from reaching out to somebody in your network. Because I always say that you can't see your business from the inside out. You can only see your business from the outside in. And, it's really difficult to understand from the inside what makes you a category of 1. But when you allow yourself to be supported by people around you, like I shared in the mindset session, that's where you start to see how you can really simplify everything to you do to your zone of genius with the world, which is your category of one. So that's the answer, is make sure that you go and reach out to people to support you to get that help. Thank you. So thank you very much, everybody who's here. We're just 1 minute over time. I really want to thank you for being here today. It's my honor and privilege to be with you. I know how key time is right now. So it's an honor that you spent time with me today. I look forward to connecting with those of you on your one-to-one call. And I also share with you this, that I wish you all the success in your endeavors. And I believe this, that individually we're brilliant, but together we transform our world. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Take care. Bye.